Hey everyone, Low Quality here with a Barbarian Deathblow build guide. And because it's my shtick now, that's kind of how it feels. It's another Magnum Opus build. So it's a Magnum Opus Deathblow build. I'm going to go over the skills we have really quick, and then we'll just cut to some gameplay after. But it's straightforward. There's not a lot to unpack here. We have Lunging Strike for the basic attack. We have Whirlwind for the Fury Dump, as well as for the Bleed. We have the 3 Shouts, and then we have a rank 12 Deathblow. This playstyle is very similar to a Hodabarb, something like that, right? Where you're just kind of walking around, gunning for elites. As soon as you see the elite, you can one-shot it, basically. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to pull the items up now so we can kind of take a look at what you need and what you don't. But for me, I've been testing this build a bit. You could use Overkill, and I've seen a few Deathblow builds use Overkill. The Shockwave is really nice in terms of like clear, but when it comes to Nightmare Dungeons, maybe Deathblow or Overkill is something that you would use for pushing if you really need to clear mobs out. But in like low tier Nightmare Dungeons and just in the world, you don't need to use this. But this is going to be a personal preference, right? It takes up a slot, like an affix slot, and on a two-hander, that's kind of crazy. Ours, we're not optimizing at all yet. We have Edge Masters. It could be Retribution. It could be Conceit. Either one of those could be put on this two-hander to just get the increase, but honestly, it's the stats we're missing out on. The 165 strength, the vulnerable damage, the critical strike damage, right? When it comes to Overkill, you get none of that. You get Overpower damage, which is almost useless. It is useless. It's a dead stat. And then crit against injured enemies is kind of nice, but we can get around that. So the thing to note, I'm not using Overkill. And then once again, like I said, we are using Magnum Opus, which means that Deathblow is using dual wield. So it's a dual wield Deathblow. And then the one other item I want to talk about is Temerity. I finally got these pants. For me, these pants just enable using conceited aspect. Like it's not much, there isn't anything beyond that. If you don't have these pants, then you just don't get to use conceited, and you can swap on to something like Berserk Ripping maybe. Which is a 30% into a bleed. And then we're not even using anything on our gloves right now. Basically, this isn't a fully optimized build, and we're still doing the numbers that you'll see in a bit. So yeah, this you can swap out for whatever you want. And then Haragoth, same deal. This is kind of nice. If you whiff on your Deathblow, you can kind of use Whirlwind, make a bunch of people bleed, get the cooldown lower. But yeah, that's mostly it. Obviously, we have Encroaching Wrath, which is after you spend 100 Fury, the next Deathblow you throw out is going to do 200x. You don't even need the 200x. You can use this as a benefit that happens every now and then, where you Deathblow Whirlwind, Deathblow Whirlwind, Deathblow Whirlwind, and then eventually you're going to spend enough Fury where your Deathblow is going to do 3 times damage. But you don't have to just do Deathblow Whirlwind for until that's back up and then Deathblow again. That playstyle doesn't feel as much fun, but having an extra insane multiplier on it is definitely worth it. So this is where we're at right now. This amulet was pretty good. The thing I'm lacking is defenses. So this at the moment, our armor is super low. I probably wouldn't push with this build. You probably could figure out a way to make it work. So no Temerity. Pants with armor on them, helm with armor on them, chest piece with armor, Ami with armor, and then you're going to lose out on a ton of damage, which it might be fine because of this multiplier. So basically, there could be a different playstyle here where you just dive into this being where you deal all your damage, and then everything else is about survivability. For right now, we're just trying to have fun. So I'm going to show off some video of, I think it was a tier 30, tier 35 Nightmare Dungeon. I'm just walking around blowing shit up. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, let's just hop right in. One thing to note about this dungeon is that the enemies do have resource burn, and because we're a Magnum Opus build, the more resource we have, the more damage we're going to do. So it is a little wonky, but even with that, we still blow shit up. So first crit you see, 3 mil. It gets better. But it is like a super, straightforward playstyle. Whirlwind around. If you find anything you want to kill, hit Deathblow. We are rocking Walking Arsenal, so you do want to rotate Lunging Strike, Whirlwind, Deathblow to get the maximum damage bonus there. But again, this is like a super lenient build. I think that was a 10 mil crit. Basically, if you don't do everything perfectly, it doesn't matter. You're going to be fine. That's kind of why I was really enjoying messing around with this. Because initially I had like a very clear thought on, okay, this is how it's going to play, this is how it's going to go. And then in practice, it actually doesn't matter, right? As long as you kill one thing with Deathblow, it feels good. And I don't even think I whiff throughout the entire duration of this video. And that's partly because of not using overkill. When you use overkill, it creates this kind of like massive, it turns it into like a straight line ability almost. And for me, I was using shift click a lot more because of that. So I was like lining up the ability to try to hit more people, and it for some reason made me more likely to miss. Whereas if you just hover over somebody and hit Deathblow, you're gonna be better off. But I think that's, again, like I said, playstyle. I could easily be using overkill here and like not do that and just click on top of people the same way I'm doing right now. It'd be totally fine. So use whatever you guys have, is what I would say. I think the boss, did I even do a boss? Oh, this is a dungeon without a boss in it. So Deathblow does 100% damage to bosses. So you can imagine that, and maybe I'll do like a clip in the future if this build sticks around, of me just one-shotting a boss in a Nightmare dungeon. For now, all you get is me one-shotting elites. But yeah, I'll go over Paragon board at some point in a separate video. I've decided I'm going to do it finally, just because it seems like there are going to be multiple builds that are going to be using this dual wield sort of one-hander playstyle, and my Paragon board is kind of specific to that. So I have decided to do that video. For now, it's just pretty straightforward. Instead of using the Paragon glyph for critical damage to core skills, you just swap that out for increased damage when you swap weapons. And then that's it. Like, it's not even, I don't even know how much damage we did there, but we one-shot them without a crit. Yeah, even just watching this again, it's just so much fun to just mess around with. And like I was saying, when it comes to survivability, essentially what it would all come down to is you swapping off certain legendary affixes, and then swapping on to more defensive affixes. So I wouldn't say that this build is like a mid-game build. I do believe there probably is an end-game version of it. Just for me right now, I'm enjoying the Whirlwind's dual wield too much right now to try to like swap off. I did try to use this as like a boss killer. That does not work. You're gonna need Deathblow to reset, so you're gonna need to kill small mobs in order to make it work. But I did try it against Super Lilith, and I failed pretty hard with it. So even though it does 100% damage against bosses, yeah, that's not enough. Hope you guys liked the video. It's a more chill build, a more chill video for me. The next few videos are going to come out are going to be less on the build / theorycraft side and more on the critique / suggestion side. So hopefully you guys will stick around for those. I'm still trying to map it out. I'm not really sure how it's going to look, but I'm excited just because I feel like I've played too much to not say something. So thanks for watching, guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.